Are we on the internet?
We are.
All right, awesome. Looks like I've got levels. Music is off, and we are ready to go. Okay, here we go. Fast and Furious. Welcome. This is Foghorn. Hello again for a quick anniversary sale prep talk on this, the 22nd of November, 2018, or 2948 for those that like to live in the lore. And it is Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there who might be listening. This prep talk is mostly for the members of the Aurora Republic, a premier role-playing organization and Star Citizen. And if you're new to the Aurora Republic or visiting for the first time, let me start by saying welcome. We're glad to have you with us, and please let us know if you'd like to hear more from us, about us, and what we like to do. We are a lawful good organization focused on role-play exploration, social interaction, and are currently active in recruiting on Spectrum and Discord. Some quick rules of engagement. We are streaming this video on Twitch, so there's an 8-second delay from when I say something before it comes out on Twitch. And so if you're also in Discord, then you may want to mute the Twitch volume so that you're not hearing my voice twice. Once is probably enough. Tonight, I'm going to talk about the anniversary sale. In case anybody out there has never been through one before. If you have, then this is all probably going to be old hat. But for any of our new folks who've never been through an anniversary sale before, I'm just going to share a few quick strategies. This should hopefully take like less than 10 minutes unless there are questions. So, but please do feel free to just pipe up here in Discord and fire your questions away at me, and I will answer as best of my ability. I am also watching the Twitch chat. So if you'd rather fire away there, then Yacker. Is Yacker here? I see Jumpwing, I see Goblox, and I see McQueen. Alrighty. Anywho, so for those who've never been through anniversary sale before, basically there's 3 strategies I'm going to talk about that the anniversary sale is the prime location for you to employ as part of your fleet management strategy for your personal fleet. I'm talking about, and that's rollovers, LTI tokens, and cross chassis upgrades. The anniversary sale, in case you've been living under a rock and did not know, the anniversary sale starts tomorrow on the 23rd at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So yeah, starting at 8 a.m. It's also the free fly event. So if you have anybody, friends or family who've been thinking about joining Star Citizen, maybe even thinking about joining the Aurora Republic, then this is a great time for them to load it up onto their computer, assuming if their computer can actually handle it, and then get to fly everything for free for basically a week. They're going to get a different manufacturer is going to have its entire flyable inventory available on a different day for a 24-hour period, starting at 8 a.m. again Pacific time and running for 24 hours per manufacturer. And if you are going to refer any friends or friends or family, get them in, please remember to use your referral code. If you're not sure where to find that, then go up here to the upper right, go to your account, go to your settings, and then down here on the left side, set your account settings down here where it says referral program. And then you will see at the very top down here is your personal referral code. That one's mine. Feel free to use mine if you like, but then I'll be getting the credit and not you. So use your own if you would, just to make sure that you get it. There's going to be a new manufacturer each day. They're going to start with Anvil tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific. Again, 8 a.m. Pacific. Tomorrow is Anvil. Then on Saturday, it's Robert Space Industries. All of their stuff. Origin Jumpworks on Sunday. Aegis on Monday. Drake on Tuesday. All of the alien manufacturers. So the Aopa and the Vanduul Esperia knockoffs on the 28th, which I believe is Wednesday. 29th, Thursday will be Misk. With their all of their cool stuff. If you haven't flown a Razor, go give it a shot. It hauls ass. And on the 30th is the catch-all for Kruger, Argo, Tumbrel, and Consolidated Outlands, which also includes a lot of ground vehicles. So with Hurston now in the game, I have not gone out and gone driving around it, but the few folks who have say it's absolutely awesome being able to drive the buggies and things in an actual real gravity field so that you don't bounce all over creation like you do out on the moons. So that would be highly recommended. Now, in the newsletters, the free fly event only runs until the 30th. And so it ends on midnight Pacific on the 30th. With each manufacturer, you can only fly their stuff for one day, for that day. However, in the email newsletters that I've been getting, after the free fly event is done on the 30th, as I understand it, the anniversary sale is going to actually continue through midnight Pacific on the 4th of December, and everything in the inventory of all of these inventories simultaneously will be available for those of us that are not free flyers, so those of us actual backers, as I understand it. So that is not said up here, but it was said in the email newsletters. So that's a quick overview of the anniversary sale. So the anniversary sale presents an opportunity for you to purchase or trade up to or CCU your way to a ship that has not been available regularly. So that's one of the reasons why it's kind of an interesting time. It's also CIG's largest money-making event during the year. So there's going to be a lot of interesting things. Like we know there's going to be at least one brand new ship concept, the Anvil Arrow. It was right at the top of that list, right? Oops, there. So right there where it says redacted. So there's going to be a big reveal on the Arrow. I personally suspect, and this is nothing more than Foghorn suspicions, I suspect there's probably going to be another one somewhere in here. I imagine there's a second one that they haven't. They hinted at the Kraken for CitizenCon, and nobody knew the Valkyrie was coming. It was like a state secret. So I imagine there might be a second one in here too. Last year they did 2 reveals, but we know there's at least one coming. The Arrow, and then I suspect there might be one more that's hidden in here somewhere. Okay, so this is going to give you an opportunity to buy stuff that you may not have had available for you to buy at a previous date. I'm not making any sort of buy or don't buy recommendations during any of this. Okay, so this is this is big boy approach. You know what your budget is and what it can take. So howdy, Yacker. But I'm going to, if you've never heard these before, then I'm going to talk about 3 quick key strategies. First one is the rollover. Second one is the LTI token. The third one is the cross chassis upgrade and how they might be useful at this opportunity in time. First one, the rollover, is where you melt ships that you own and immediately rebuy them because they are currently being offered with longer insurance. So you can basically, for no cost to yourself, roll over that ship and just get the longer insurance for basically free. The LTI token is if there's an inexpensive concept ship, like possibly the Arrow. There's talk of it being Anvil's starter fighter. So now what defines an inexpensive is a personal judgment call. But if it is an inexpensive ship, then I'm going to show you the strategy on how to build an LTI token or multiples of them so that you can put LTI on other things later. And then CCU is a strategy if there's something that is going to be available right now and isn't normally available and you don't have the money for it right now, but you have some money, then you can buy a cross chassis upgrade for a lot less money now, and that will lock in your ability to upgrade a ship to that new one that you want later on when you do get the money. So we'll go over each one of those very quickly. The rollover. So first one, you already own a ship, but you only got 3 or 6 month insurance on it. Now it's going to be offered this time for us. Now last year, which was their 5th year anniversary, they offered 60, so 5 years, 60 month insurance on everything that was being sold, all of it. So I did this rollover last year with my entire fleet. If they do the same thing this year in kind, then that would be 72 months for a 6th year anniversary. So again, I would take even all of my stuff that I have 60 month insurance on now, and I would melt it and rebuy it with the 72 month insurance, if that is the case. So again, this rollover is dependent on what we see happen tomorrow, whether or not what's the length of the insurance for that's being offered. Do not you try to roll over anything that's a war bond or already has LTI on it. And yes, I realize it's probably the same thing. Yeah, so your stuff that already has LTI or longer insurance than is being offered, leave those alone. So this is only if the current insurance or if the insurance that they're offering is greater than what you have existing. The other thing is to first check that the price of what they're selling tomorrow, is still the same as what you originally paid for it. If the price has gone up, if you bought a ship for $60 and you melt it to get the more insurance, but nowadays it's $70, when you buy it back with store credit, you've only got $60 worth of store credit. You're going to end up having to chuck another $10 of fresh money in to rebuy that same item. So double check first that does cost the same thing as what you originally bought it for, so you don't end up unless you've got the extra $10 or whatever to pay the new higher price. So that's the basic gist of a rollover: is you melt your spacecraft that you own that has the shorter insurance, and which turns it 100% of its value into store credit, and then you immediately repurchase it, the same exact thing, from the store with the store credit, but it comes with the new longer insurance. It didn't cost you anything more, assuming that the price did not go up. And most of them haven't, so this is a pretty safe thing to do in most cases. And now you've got the same ship that you had 10 seconds ago. You just have it with more longer months of insurance whenever the game goes live. And that's how to do a rollover. Any questions so far? Okay. Boop. All right, so LTI token, which is the next one. The definition of an LTI token, if you've never heard this before, is an inexpensive concept spacecraft that you purchase, melt, and then repurchase with the store credit repeatedly over and over again. Because every time you melt it, it builds a copy in your buyback inventory that you could buy back with new cash later. So an inexpensive concept ship, I did this with the Anvil Hawk because I didn't think it was that expensive. I thought it was like $60. So I bought it, melted it, repurchased with store credit, melted it, repurchased with store credit, melted it, repurchased with store credit, over and over and over again. You can do this round trip of the money once every 24 hours. And so in buyback, I have a bunch of Anvil Hawks with LTI when they were in concept. Now, as we go forward into the future and a ship that I really want, but isn't in concept, like say a Saber. Say if I wanted a Saber. Well, Sabers were concepted years and years and years before I started goofing off with Star Citizen. So if I wanted to put LTI on a Saber, there's only really kind of one way to do that, and that's to use an LTI token. So what I would do is I would go into my buyback, and I actually have this set up to show you. Okay, yeah, I do. So you go into your account, into your hangar, and you come back to buyback pledges. And so these top two here you can see are my remaining Hawk LTI tokens. So if I wanted to, say, buy a Saber and put LTI on it somehow, what I would actually do is I would actually come buy back this Hawk for cash money, buy back the Hawk, and then once I have the Hawk, then I would go do an upgrade and upgrade it to the Saber, because all of the properties of the Hawk, like if it comes with insurance or if it comes with a hanger, with a newer, cooler hanger, whatever that is, like these four items down here, it says is this Anvil Hawk plus 4 items. Those 4 items and everything, when you upgrade this Hawk to a Saber, that Saber that you get inherits all of those items and properties. So therefore, if this had LTI, which it does, then when I turned this into a Saber, the Saber would have LTI. And that is the concept of an LTI token. So I've actually used this several times. That's why I only have 2 LTI tokens left, is the original Hawk War Bond that I bought. And then I also turned around and bought the standalone Hawk with LTI back when it was in concept. And then did this round trip of the money several times. I had, I think, 4 of them or 5 of them stacked up in here, and I've used 2 or 3. So I've only got these 2 left. Actually, I really only have 1 left because I am eventually planning on buying the Hawk back and flying it for a while and seeing if I like it. Anywho, so purchase the concept with LTI, melt it back into store credit, repurchase again with the store credit. the same thing, and you can do that round trip of the money once every 24 hours. This is not war bonds, okay? If you buy the war bond and you melt it back, you're going to find out that the store credit price with the LTI is actually more than the war bond. Again, if you melt your war bond, if you buy the war bond, then melt that back, when you turn around to use the store credit, you're actually going to have to put in some additional money, 10 or 15 bucks more, to get enough to be able to buy the non-war bond with LTI, because war bonds can only be bought with new cash. So there you go. And that's what I just explained it. So later on, to use your LTI token, once you've built them, you purchase whatever that LTI token spacecraft is with new money, then go into the upgrade and upgrade it to the ship you actually want, and all the properties will transfer over and inherit. Which is basically that upgrade is actually what we're about to talk next, which is the cross chassis upgrade. So a cross chassis upgrade is an idea where you can actually purchase the upgrade itself as if it's an item. So you can purchase an upgrade from a spacecraft that you don't own now to a spacecraft that you can't afford now either. So again, this is a way to get around whether or not a spacecraft that you want is available now, but you don't have the money. And you'll be able to get to it later when it's no longer available, but you do have the money later. The way it is, you go to the RSI website, to the pledge store. So you go to the RSI website, you go to pledge store. Once you click on that, then you hit ship upgrades right here. And then in the ship upgrades, on the left side, you'll have what you want to upgrade from and what you want to upgrade to. When you hit the one you what you want to upgrade from, you want to turn off the My Ships. Okay, because if you hit My Ships, then this is only going to show you what's currently in your personal inventory. You unclick it so you can see everything that's available. And so now the strategy is to purchase something that is always available now and buy the upgrade to something that isn't going to be available later, but you can't afford yet. So, for example, say I really, really wanted that. Let's say, oops, let's go to the Saber again. So the Saber is, where is the Saber? I believe the Saber is a $180 ship or $170. Yeah, it's a $170 ship. Okay, so say you don't have $170 right now, but now it's the anniversary sale and the Saber's available. But later on, when you are going to have the money, then the Saber's not going to be available, and that's going to piss you off. So what you do is you go for something that is, oops, that's not what we wanted. You go for something that is available right now, say the Cuddy Black. So say you don't have $170, but say you do have $100. So you're like, okay, well, or excuse me, say you don't have $170, but say you do have $70. So what you do is you'd select the Cuddy Black, which you don't own yet, but you can always get a Cuddy Black because it's always available. And then you come over and you select over on the other side on the upgrade 2, you select the Saber, which I don't think is being shown right now because it's not technically available. It'll be available tomorrow, but you'd select Saber over here. And because the Cuddy Black's $100 and the Saber's $170, then down here it would say $70 down here, where I just to throw that in so you can see the functionality of the website. It would say $70 down there. So if you had the 70, you could hit buy now, and over in your hangar, over in your My Gear in your hangar, it would populate up with a cross chassis upgrade token. So later on, when you now you've already paid $70 towards that upgrade, you've already paid $70 towards that $170 Saber. So in the future, you don't need all $170 to buy the Saber. You only need the remaining difference, the 100. So in the future, that CCU will specifically say an upgrade from a Cuddy Black to the Saber. So what you'd end up doing is grabbing, when you get the extra $100, then you can go in and buy the Cuddy Black, and then you go into your inventory and you apply that cross chassis upgrade, and it would upgrade that Cuddy Black to the Saber without you having put any more money in than just to buy the Cuddy Black. It's all that is there any question there? This probably wasn't the smoothest delivery of an explanation, but because it can get a little confusing. No, okay, continue on, and that's basically everything in a nutshell. So yeah, once you have the CCU in inventory, then you just have to go purchase the upgrade from Spacecraft, in this example, the Cuddy Black, and then just hit the token and it'll turn that Cuddy Black into the Saber, and you're done. Okay. That was it, fast and furious. So I hope it wasn't too confusing. There's a lot of different strategies that can be applied, starting for the anniversary sale, which starts tomorrow.
Fog, can you answer the question? The last question
Terrapin
asked?
has 6 months. Should you melt it and get another Terrapin with LTI? I don't believe you're going to be able to get a Terrapin with LTI, because I don't think the Terrapin's going to be offered again with LTI. If you have an LTI token that you've built previously with some cheaper ship, then if you wanted LTI on your Terrapin, that's how you'd have to go about it. Would you be using an LTI token? If you haven't already built an LTI token, then what you probably would want to do is buy yourself an arrow tomorrow with LTI. Yeah, buy yourself an arrow tomorrow with LTI. That'll be new money. You'll be putting new money in the game. Okay? And then immediately turn around and do an upgrade from the arrow to the Terrapin. And that will inherit the LTI into the Terrapin. So, oh yeah, good call, Yacker. We had that happen last year, and it was funny, but it was frustrating for the person who did it. Do not melt your game package, or else you will be rebuying a game package. Okay. All of this strategy was all for standalone ships. I probably should have caveated that at the beginning. Okay. You have to have at least one game package in your hangar inventory somewhere to be able to get into the persistent universe. If you melt or gift, because what actually happened wasn't a melting, it was a gifting. A good-hearted individual gifted somebody one of his ships, and that ship happened to also be his game package, and then he was very frustrated when he couldn't get into the game. He couldn't figure out why. And it took several of us all talking over Discord with him to figure out that, oops, he had actually gifted away his game package. And so he ended up being forced to, I don't know if he went and rebought a game package or if he was able to call CIG services and got them to like swap it around and go, no, because I think it was Mustangs. I think he had multiple Mustangs. He had a couple of standalones, and his game package was a Mustang, and he meant to give away one of the standalones. He actually gifted out his game package one. So he was like, but I have Mustangs. And they're like, oh, those are standalone Mustangs. Et cetera, et cetera. So don't do that because you'll frustrate yourself. It's undoable. You can fix it, but yeah. So if you have multiple game packages, like if you have the Loot and Scoot, the 100i Mustang Gamma, you actually can gift away one of those, and you'll still be able to get in. You have to have at least one game package in your inventory to be able to get into the persistent universe. So yeah. If you want something that exists already, but you want it with LTI, my suggestion is create yourself an LTI token by buying an arrow tomorrow, and then cross chassis upgrading it to whatever it is you want to inherit the LTI. Don't gift away don't melt your game package unless you're going to turn around and just buy the game package over again. But I don't know why you'd do that, because you're not going to get LTI or anything with it. So, and if you have something that already has LTI in it, leave it alone. Don't try. There's no reason to roll over stuff that already has LTI. And the last two things is double check prices before you start rolling over, and make sure that it's not going to ask you for more money because a price went up, or unless that's okay with you, if you've got the money. A lot of times I may do a rollover if the thing only went up like $5. I'm like, okay, $5, who cares? Do a rollover anyway. If the insurance is good, and double check the length of insurance. Make sure you're not, when you're rolling over, that you're actually rolling up into a better insurance situation. So, okay, I think I've blabbered enough. Any other questions? Chat or verbage?
Do we know how much the arrow is going to cost?
Nope. Haven't heard a word. But just the rumor and heavy and like, let me triple underline that. This is rumor. The rumor is that it's going to be Anvil's starter fighter. So it's going to be something down in the starter ship range, similar to like the 100i was. You know, it's going to be $55, $60 maybe. I'm guessing.
Okay.
But that's guess. Yeah. I think it's going to be something south of 100. Definitely something south of 100. So, yeah.
And what's the break point for the once per 24 hours? Is it the melting that can only be done once every 24 hours, or what's the restriction for getting an LTI token?
You basically, I don't remember which one where it limits you. The website will limit you.
Okay.
Wait, yeah. So you don't have to do the math. Just go, melt, rebuy. And I think it's the melt. I think, you go melt, rebuy, and I think if you try to melt that same thing over again that you just bought, I think that's when it goes, you have to wait 24 hours.
Okay. Is it a rolling 24-hour window, or is it once per day?
I think it's a rolling 24-hour window. I think it's no kidding to the minute. Okay. If I remember from doing this last year, I want to say it's to the minute. So the good news is that, and that's the reason why, I know it's Thanksgiving. This is not optimal to do a quick stream on Thanksgiving evening, but why I wanted to hit everybody early was because if you are going to use the LTI strategy, if the arrow comes out tomorrow and it's nice and inexpensive, like we were sort of expecting, then that would be the time to go bang, 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 because you're only going to be able to build one LTI token per day. So you're going to have, let's see here. Yeah, what's the 23rd to the 4th is what, 11 days? So you have the potential to build 11 LTI tokens for the cost of only one ship. So for example, if the non-war bond arrow tomorrow was say $60, you could put in $60, melt, rebuy, melt, rebuy, melt, rebuy, melt, rebuy, because you're using that same $60 over and over and over again. You only put $60 in at the beginning, but then you're going to build 11 LTI token ships in your melt back over those 11 days. And the last time, you may not even want an arrow. So after that last melt, you just don't buy it back. You just bank the $60 of credit and use it for something else. Or maybe you go ahead and on that last melt day on the 4th, you buy it back again and then go, okay, and I'll whenever this comes out of concept and it gets flyable, I'll fly it for a little bit and then decide if I want to keep it. My personal hangar inventory has a lot of little cheap and inexpensive ships that I'm just there going, I'll dick around with it, and then I'll probably at some point melt a bunch of the smaller ships to get something bigger and more fun. Because I kind of like all the different ships. I want to kind of try them all out, and then at the end, when the game goes live, then I'll freaking consolidate and go, okay, instead of having a bunch of little $50 ships here and there, I'll go buy a 600i or something like that. It's kind of my idea. But anywho, anything else?
That's it for me.
Yeah, one token per 24 hours can be built because they limit that round trip of the money.
Okay.
Oh yes, yeah. Goblock said unless you buy multiple ships though, then you could get multiple tokens. The answer is yeah. If you put in multiple money, if for example, using the arrow example, and if we make the assumption that it's a $60 ship, okay, so yeah, if you bought 3 of them for $60 each, $60 in this ship, $60 in that ship, $60 in that ship, you could have 3 streams of LTI producing of token rollover game, money round trip of the money game. So you could have 3. Each one of those streams could go once per day. So if you had bought 3, then you could do 3 per day, using that same strategy. So, if I don't think that's necessarily the best way to spend your money, but it's your money. So, and this is America. God bless it. So, anywho, any other questions? No. Okay, well, I completely missed 3.3.5 because I was gallivanting around the Orient, Korea, and Japan, having a great time, even though I was dog-ass tired the entire time. But, my first exposure to any of this was this morning, 3.3.6. So I'm going to log off here, and I'm going to go back in and play some more because it's about 10:30 at night, and most of my house has gone to bed. So... with that, I will say good night to everybody. I hope you found it interesting, helpful. If there's any questions I didn't answer, please feel free to contact me via email, Discord, Spectrum, or comment section below, and I will answer it to the best of my ability as quickly as I can. If you are part of the Aurora Republic membership and haven't hit the subscribe or follow buttons as appropriate, please do so immediately and enable those notifications so you know whenever it is one of us is trying to yak at you. If you're a visitor, please feel free to hit those same buttons. Your feedback really does help us, and we are always striving to improve our content. You can find out more information at our website, which is aurorarepublic.space, on Spectrum at robertspaceindustries.com/org/Aurora Rep. And then you should probably already know how to get to us on Twitch and YouTube if you're actually watching us on Twitch and YouTube. What are the servers going to be like tomorrow for Free Fly? I expect bedlam. I expect tomorrow's Free Fly is going to be bedlam. If you've ever been there during a Free Fly, things get super framey because anybody who's even thinking about it with a Free Fly, they get on there and they pound the hell out of the server. So, but with OCS and all this stuff, I mean, I'm on the Dino Pooter down here in Tampa, and I've been holding 30 FPS steady at Olisar and 25 to 30 walking around Lorville this morning, and I spent about 4 or 5 hours just exploring Lorville and Hurston. Went out and put my toesies in the water, my digital toes. But then then I went up and did some mining out in the Yellow Asteroid Belt and lost 2 complete prospectors full of laranite to Crash Handler. So yeah, I was a little frustrated. Anywho, okay. Well, I'll see you guys next time. It's Foghorn signing off, wishing you a pleasant remainder of your morning, afternoon, and or evening, and Thanksgiving. Gute Nacht.